Hi, you guys. So excited about this book. Thank you, Sarah. The Woman Who Saved Thanksgiving. That turkey's not too happy about it. I happen to be a huge fan of Sarah Hale now. I had no idea what this awesome woman did. This is a 3.7 rating level book in accelerated reading. Let's start this book. And of course, there's so many cool quiz questions I've thought of that I've been asking the kids as I read this book this week. I will go over some of those, so pay close attention. Here we go. Thank you, Sarah. By Laurie, Halse Anderson, illustrations by Matt Faulkner. Not only is the book excellent, but these illustrations are incredible. You guys are going to love it. You think you know everything about Thanksgiving, don't you? How the Native Americans saved the Pilgrims from starving. How the Pilgrims held a big feast to celebrate and say thank you. Turkey, pumpkin pie, cranberries, the works. Well, listen up. I have a news flash. We almost lost Thanksgiving. Look at how happy the turkeys are. How about that? Didn't know that, did you? It's true. Way, way back when skirts were long and hats were tall, Thanksgiving was fading away. Sure, the folks up in New England celebrated it. They'd roast a turkey and invite the relatives when the harvest came in. But not in the South, not in the West, not even in the middle Atlantic states. More and more people ignored the holiday. This is when the United States was only about half what it is now. Thanksgiving was in trouble. It needed a superhero. Okay, adorable superhero, right? No, not that kind. Thanksgiving needed a real superhero, someone bold, brave, and stubborn, and smart. Thanksgiving needed Sarah Hale. Now, I know what you're thinking. She doesn't look like a superhero. She looks like a dainty little lady. Well, never underestimate dainty little ladies. Now, pay attention to all the cool stuff Sarah Hale did, because I will be quizzing you on some of this. Sarah Hale was every inch a superhero. Not only did she fight for Thanksgiving, she fought for playgrounds for kids, school for girls, and historical monuments for everyone. She argued against spanking, pie for breakfast, dull stories, corsets and bloomers and bustlers, and very serious things like slavery. And if that weren't enough, she raised 5 children, wrote poetry, children's books, novels, and biographies, was the first female magazine editor in America. She published great American authors like Henry Wadsworth Longfellow and Edgar Allan Poe, and she composed Mary Had a Little Lamb. How did she do all of these things? She was bold, brave, stubborn, and smart. And Sarah Hale had a secret weapon. A pen. Dun, da, da, da. When Sarah saw something she didn't like, she picked up her pen and wrote about it. She wrote letters. She wrote articles. She wrote and wrote and wrote until she persuaded people to make the world a better place. Nothing stopped Sarah. There she is writing while her kids sleep. Sarah Hale loved Thanksgiving. She wanted the whole country to celebrate it on the same day. When folks started to ignore Thanksgiving, well, that just curdled her gravy. It's Thanksgiving. Do you know where your turkey is? Love it. Look at her little boy dressed as a turkey. She picked up her pen. Sarah wrote letters, thousands of letters, asking politicians to make Thanksgiving a national holiday. She wrote magazine articles, asking her readers for help. The women of America listened. They put down their babies, their hose, their skillet, their washing. They picked up their pens and wrote. When the letters arrived, the politicians listened too. One by one, the states officially made Thanksgiving a holiday. But that wasn't good enough. Sarah Hale wanted the whole country to celebrate together, like a family. She went to the top. And who's at the top to write a letter to? Sarah wrote to the president himself, Zachary Taylor. He refused. Did that stop Sarah? No. She waited for the next election and wrote to the new president, Millard Fillmore. He said no, too. Did that stop Sarah? No. She was bold, brave, stubborn, and smart. Sarah wrote to the next president, Franklin Pierce. Wouldn't a national day of Thanksgiving be wonderful? No. Pierce grumbled. Sarah penned an elegant letter to President James Buchanan. She gave all the reasons why America would be better off if everyone gathered on the fourth Thursday in November to give thanks. President Buchanan disagreed. He had other things on his mind. You can see here that the Civil War was starting, where the North wanted to get rid of slavery and the South did not. The South actually wanted to break off and become their own country. We wanted to stay united. Sarah felt like the stuffing had been kicked out of her. Everything was going wrong. America was at war, the North against the South. States that had promised to celebrate Thanksgiving changed their mind. The country was falling apart. It was a bleak and a scary time. I love this illustration of the Civil War. You can see the United States falling apart here, the North and their flag, the South and their flag. Did that stop Sarah? No way. Nothing stopped Sarah. Superheroes work the hardest when things get tough. She picked up her mighty pen and wrote another letter, this time to President Abraham Lincoln. America needed Thanksgiving now more than ever. A holiday wouldn't stop the war, but it could help bring the country together. She signed the letter, folded it, and slid it into an envelope. She wrote Mr. Lincoln's name and address on the envelope and stuck on a stamp. She mailed the letter. She waited. And she waited. There it goes. And then Lincoln said yes. Lincoln said yes. The nation gives thanks. In 1863, President Lincoln made Thanksgiving a national holiday, a day for all Americans to give thanks together. It took Sarah Hale 38 years, thousands of letters, and countless bottles of ink, but she did it. Nothing stopped Sarah. That bold, brave, stubborn, and smart lady saved Thanksgiving for all of us. Thank you, Sarah. Way to go, Sarah. I love these pictures of all of us in America celebrating together, no matter what our religion, our race, anything. We all stop and celebrate and give thanks on the same day. That is pretty powerful. I'm definitely going to be thinking a lot about this on Thanksgiving Day as I celebrate and give thanks. Okay, now there is 4 amazing pages of history. So I want you to stop and pause and read through these. They're just fascinating, and I learned so much about Sarah and about history. The year 1863 alone had some amazing historic events in it, besides Thanksgiving. Talked about the Civil War, and here's a whole bunch about Sarah and who she knew and what she did. The Pen is Mightier Than the Sword by Edward Buehler Layton. Pick up your pen and change the world. What a beautiful story. I'm so thankful for it. Okay, now you can stop and take the quiz if you would like to. There's the quiz number. But if you would like to keep listening and answer some of these questions, then you should. So number 1, what was the famous nursery rhyme that Sarah penned? My favorite. I was so excited when I read that. How many presidents did Sarah write letters to before she got the change she wanted? And how many years did she keep writing letters? And what year was it finally made a national holiday? Tell me 3 jobs that Sarah did. She had several jobs that were talked about in this book. And actually at the end, as you read about her, you're going to see some of the great things she did. The one thing I love about the nursery rhyme, I will go back and say it's a true story, something she actually saw happen, and she wrote about it. I was so excited when I saw that. Name the 4 character traits that Sarah had that made her a superhero. They are something that every one of us have. And we are all superheroes in our own right. My favorite part of this book was this part, when the Civil War broke out and it said it was a bleak and scary time. It makes me think about our own lives now. Sometimes it feels like it's a bleak and scary time. But really, if we show the character traits and we get up and do something like Sarah did, it's okay. We're doing great. We're still doing awesome. I loved this quote. It said, superheroes work the hardest when things get tough. So you can do it. We can all do it. Take action. Did you know that you can write to the president or congressman or leaders in your state or country? You sure can. If you look at the book I read on Election Day about the President of the United States, the very end of it, it tells you how you can write to our president. And you don't have to be 18 to do it. Kids can write letters to our president. Give him encouragement. Tell him if you get something that you want him to do, let him know. And see if you get a letter back. Have an amazing Thanksgiving.